The Little Albert Experiment. Presented by Aubrey Eason, Ashley McLeod, and Lauren Glover. Submitted in partial fulfillment of Dr. Moore's General Psychology 2301 class. Classical conditioning.
Psychologist Ivan Pavlov discovered a learning process that occurs through associations between an environmental stimulus and a naturally occurring stimulus. He called this process classical conditioning. Pavlov conducted many experiments demonstrating this classical conditioning in dogs.
Pavlov's dog experiment. Before conditioning, a dog was exposed to a ringing bell. The dog reacted with no response. Then the dog was shown food, an unconditioned stimulus, and the dog reacted with producing saliva, the unconditioned response. During conditioning, the dog was exposed to a ringing bell and shown food at the same time, the conditioned stimulus, and the dog reacted with producing saliva, the unconditioned response. And finally, after conditioning, the dog was exposed only to a ringing bell, the conditioned stimulus, and reacted by producing saliva, the conditioned response. What is the Little Albert experiment?
Conditioning was John B. Watson's experiment where fear response was conditioned in a baby known as Little Albert. When Albert was first exposed to various stimuli such as a monkey, a dog, a rabbit, a mouse, and a person in a mask, he showed no fear and interacted normally with the animals in the mask. But when he was exposed to these stimuli a second time, Watson struck a steel bar behind Albert's head whenever he would try and interact with the animals. When this happened, Albert was scared and reacted by crying. This procedure was repeated 7 times over 7 weeks. By repeating this process, Albert only had to see the animals and he would begin to cry, whether or not the bar was struck.
Whatever happened to Little Albert?
Many people have always wondered whatever happened to Little Albert after the experiment was over. Investigations were set out to find the boy and his mother. After years of searching and following financial records, investigators found the boy, who was actually named Douglas. But this boy did not have the happy ending that they imagined. Douglas died at age 6 from a disease called hydrocephalus.
How is this experiment important?
John Watson used this experiment to conclude his theory that babies are blank states and environment is powerful in influencing them. The reason it is such a landmark study is because Watson was able to show that emotional responses could be conditioned or learned. The Little Albert study is extremely important in psychology and other disciplines. It has inspired other important researchers of the past and continues to impact the direction of psychological investigation today. The Little Albert implications had a profound effect on the world at the time. In fact, Watson's findings continue to influence psychology, especially therapy, even in modern times.